What up, what up, what up? This is your boy Agree to Disagree coming at you again with another video review. The video that we are reviewing today is a video between Abba and Sneako where they were having a debate online. It was a very interesting conversation. I'll put a link to the full video down below, but there's a certain segment that I wanted to highlight today, and so we're going to get right into it, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on the video.
And what I used to believe at 21, I no longer believe now at 32, just because life's experiences and my own reflections realize like that's not true at all.
Maybe
like,
it's because you become more sedentary as you've gotten older. Like maybe it's because it's like you become less of that aggressive man that you were at 21. Like right now, I'm all about my testosterone balls, manosphere shit. And then maybe you're just 32 and you're like, man, let me settle down.
You like Sneako?
We all do, yeah.
You like you?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, that shit gets old.
Nah.
100%.
Nah.
100%. And I could point you to hundreds of players who are online right now who have videos of them telling you new gets old. In fact, how about I tell you this one? And this is something even Andrew Tate says. This is something even Andrew Tate says. All right. Sex becomes overrated after time.
No, it's overrated now.
Yeah. It's like he says new like, why do you think that is?
Because you get used to it. It becomes like when you eat the same food over and over again, it becomes boring. That's why you get new. That's why you get new. Like you spice it up, or you keep upgrading.
But guess what? After you had enough new, there is no more new.
There's always.
Do you understand?
There's always. New.
You think that after you've had a few dimes, you realize dimes ain't nothing. After you've had some baddies, you realize baddies ain't nothing.
So what do you?
Why do you think so many of these dudes, as they get older in life, they stop talking about this shit nearly as much?
Because they get older and they're less testosterone.
Testosterone ain't got nothing to do with it, Playboy. Guys just realize that in the grand scheme of things, all these women you done smashed, it don't really mean shit. Like, what have all those women that you've slept with, what has that done for you besides just giving you that nut? Right? It doesn't do anything. It doesn't leave any kind of impact on your life, whether you done smash 100 women or you smash 5 women. It doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. All it does is give you a quick dopamine hit, and then that feeling is gone. And so all those women, you think back on it, like they don't mean anything to you at the end of the day because they were only good for that moment in time. But after that, you don't even think of them. The only women that I truly think back on and reflect on are the women that I had an emotional and spiritual connection with. And even when he was talking about dimes, like legit, like the first time that you bag a dime piece, bro, like you feel on cloud nine. You feel like the man, like, oh yeah, I did that joint. But after you get, another dime and then another dime, it's really just routine at that point. You know what I mean? Like that sense of accomplishment is no longer there. It's almost like when Steph Curry hits a shot from the logo. Like the first time you're like, oh my God, I can't believe, I'm sure he's hyped, like, oh, I can't believe I just did that. But now like Curry, he does it all the time. All the time you see him hitting shots from the logo. And now it's just like, oh, well, that's just kind of what he does. And, it's still an impressive shot. But Steph Curry ain't getting hype over a shot from the logo. Like he's not getting super hyped up off of that. And at the end of the day, that shot is still only worth 3 points. Just like when you out here dealing with these women, at the end of the day, whether she's a dime piece or a 7 piece or an 8 piece, you still just getting a nut, bro. At the end of the day, you just getting a nut, bro. And just because she's a dime doesn't necessarily mean the sex is going to be better. Because y'all may not have that same sexual chemistry. Y'all might not have that same emotional connection. So you got to think about that.
Worth the work in.
Because you get tired. You get older. You don't have as much energy. You get... Bleh.
It's like even if you had the energy, because it's not worth the time. There's a video. And like maybe you don't give a about his opinion, but
no, I do.
I thought it was great. It's one with Shaquille O'Neal, and he talks about his divorce with his first wife. and he's like talking about like how, you know, he was fucking right and center, and she was giving him kids. And at one point during this period, he got caught cheating, and ended up fucking up the marriage. They get divorced, and now, you know, Shaq is, I think, what, closer to 50. And he says something that I thought was so telling. He says, looking back now, I realize like I was the one who fucked most of that up. And you could pull up the clip later if you ever get a chance. I'll send it to you on Discord. But he says, the most joyous moments of my life were coming home and then seeing all my kids around and then getting to spend time with them. And that divorce, going through that whole process, that really stole from me like what I realized was my biggest joy. I spend time with my nieces now. I spend time with my mom, taking her out to dinner, you know, showing her good stuff. And I realize like that's the stuff that matters for me. I've had enough of it for a lifetime that I'm like, bro, if I get new one, it's not even. But when I spend time with my niece and I'm watching her like walk for the first time, or I'm seeing her say words, like that shit hits different.
So you giving up on your balls?
It's not even that. It's like,
oh my God, bro. Oh my God, bro. Like, I know there's an age gap between Sneako and Abba, but come on, bro. You know, here's Abba, like, you know, it just means the world to me, you know, seeing my niece take her first steps and say her first words. And here goes Sneako. Oh, so you giving up on your balls? You giving up on your balls? Dog, bro. It's not about giving up on your balls. He's just saying that there's things that are more meaningful than chasing coochie. You know what I'm saying? Like those moments that he has with his niece, those are things that are going to matter much more. Like I have kids, you know what I'm saying? So I know like the things that I teach them, the time that I spend with them, that is something that's going to last a lifetime. They're going to take that with them forever, right? Going smashing girls, that's that nut and it's over. That moment is done. That's what he's trying to tell you, man. Smashing women doesn't have that same lasting effect as spending time with your family or loved ones. That's why you have to keep chasing women, because it's kind of like a drug. You know, you get that quick fix, but once that's over, you have to continue looking for the next woman to maintain that high. And that's not what you want out of life. You want to be able to look back at your life and say, like, I made an impact on people's lives. You want to be able to say, I did some good in this world, not I smashed a bunch of hoes.
You know, I've had experiences where the was just like in front of me on a platter, and I'm like, bro, I just want to sleep early today.
Yeah, you're getting tired. You're getting older. Like that's just like I'm too tired of.
Well, it's. But if I was faced with the same choice, if I was to see family or things like that, I wouldn't make that same decision. What I'm trying to tell you is your priorities shift as you get older, as you start to
Is your priority shifting, or is your testosterone just dropping?
No. As a man, your testosterone doesn't drop until like you're 40.
Tate's older than you, and he's still on like get shit. I mean, he's talking about how it gets.
He's not. Yeah, he talks about how it gets boring and how he's barely on it nearly as much anymore.
But every video you watch is like, I wake up and I push 2 bitches out of the way. Are you waking up and pushing 2 bitches out of the way?
Bro. You know that he's saying a lot of that shit for shits and giggles. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's true too.
No. Listen. If you're making money and you're making moves, you ain't got time to be with hoes all day.
Not
and I'll tell you this right.
No,
most of the day.
Get out of my bed. I got shit to do.
If you're making money and you're really making money, you ain't got time to be with hoes most of the day. And you don't want to, because you realize that making money and being able to take care of your shit is far more rewarding. Again, you a young man. What are you, 24, 23?
23.
I ain't mad at you. Be about that. Get as much pussy. Go do whatever you got to do. I'm just telling you that when you see people speak differently, it's not because, oh, they're turning into beta males or, oh, they want to be feminists all of a sudden. Life gives you experience. And as a result, it shapes a lot of the way that you think about stuff. Ask any motherfucker who got kids and talk to them about it, and they say, that's the best thing in my life. That's the most important.
And then
thing.
your wife leaves you and takes half your money, takes your house, takes your dog.
That's a separate issue. That's a separate issue.
That's not a separate issue. Half of marriages end that way. Over half of marriages ended that. Like, yeah, you have the kids and everything.
I'm talking about divorced dads who have kids and tell you, I would never give up a day with my kid to go be with a hoe. He says, they'll tell you, I always prioritize my children. It's not because they became beta simps. It's because they understand what's more important in life. What I'm trying to get to you as a point is life experiences, things that come to you, be it children, be it family, be it whatever the fuck it is. It changes the way that you view priorities in life. And so every time you hear people speak from a different perspective, it's not they're betas or whatever. It's just that life has just changed them through experience.
That sounds boring.
All right. So Sneako is deflecting a little bit, talking about divorce rates and things like that. But when you're talking about your kids, it doesn't matter if you're married or divorced, you're still going to love the shit out of your kids. It's not going to affect how you feel about your kids based on what happens in the marriage, right? And I know he's young, he may not, grasp this kind of information, but even if you're in like a co-parenting situation where you only have your kids half the time, that's only going to make me as a parent cherish my time with them more. So if a girl is hitting me up like, yo, I want to do that, I'm like, look, man, I only got my kids for the weekend. I just want to spend time with them. That's the decision that I am going to make as a responsible parent. And knowing that I love my kids and I know I only have a limited amount of time with them, and my time with them is irreplaceable. It's invite, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't put a value on that. And so that's what Sneako is missing here.
I want to be fucking double the bitches I'm fucking now. I want to be having a bigger house, I want to be down the Hugh Hefner shit. That's what makes you excited. That's what keeps your balls going. Like you can't let go of that. You can't let go of your manhood at a certain age. If you give up on that, and like, oh, I like playing macaroni drawings with my kids.
You know what you sound like? You sound like a lot of the young women I know who say they just want to travel for the rest of their life and live on a beach. And then they get to 30, 35, and you know what they realize? Damn, I want a husband. I want to have kids.
No, I want to have kids too. But I also want 10 bitches in the kitchen.
Okay. And you know what? Once they have those, they realize, oh, this is the shit. I don't need to be out here in Cancun taking fucking selfies all day. Listen, it sounds great to be many women.
No.
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. Almost every guy.
That's not a valuable comparison. That's not a good comparison, because a woman saying she wants to travel and drink martinis and Mykonos all day, that's giving up and that's not doing anything. For me to have 10 bitches in the crib, like in bikinis serving me food, I need to constantly be getting it, because if I'm not getting it, then they can't be here. They don't respect me. So constantly having women in my life is to motivate me more to be the best man I could be. The more bitches I got, the badder bitches that are here, the more I'm going to keep on going. Women motivate you.
All right, so I kind of understand what Sneako was getting at here, because I also believe that a woman, a good woman, let me specify, can be the greatest motivation to a man, but not the women that he's talking about, right? Women can motivate you, but not those women that he's talking about, right? Because he's talking about just having new women, in and out, right? The only way you have that is by getting women through your status and your money. And to think that these women are going to somehow help you elevate yourself when they're literally there just to leech off of you. They're there for your resources, right? They're there to take from you, right? They don't, they see you doing well. They're not here to elevate you. You don't care about them. They don't care about you. You care about the coochie. They care about your money. So I don't understand how those women being in your life are going to help elevate you. I've seen plenty of dudes go broke just trying to impress chicks. And if you really want to think about it, if you think about all these celebrities and whatnot, they didn't start off with a bunch of women and then they elevated, and then the women came. And he mentions, Hugh Hefner, which, Lord, I question anybody who has a role model like Hugh Hefner. But in any celebrity you can think of, they didn't start off with a bunch of women and then the money and the fame came afterwards, right? I'd argue that if you already had all the women, you wouldn't bother chasing the money and the status, because a big reason why you chase the money and the status is for the women. So if you already had the women, then why would you need to elevate yourself, right? Because you already got all the coochie you can need. You straight. If anything, I feel like that would encourage complacency. That's why I think, hypergamy is kind of a good thing, because women looking for upper scale men encourages men to uplift themselves. So, I can't really get down with his argument.
Okay, listen, I'm not mad at you. And like I said, I think this just comes down to a different age. So I'm not even going to try to convince you anything. All I'm going to say is this. You're going to have experiences with your friends. Y'all going to go to maybe a specific dinner. You take a trip. Maybe y'all watching a movie. Y'all having a laugh. And that's going to be a really valuable memory for you. And as you're going to get older, you're going to forget about 95% of the women that you but you're always going to remember the stuff that you spend with your family, the really beautiful moments. And so you don't have to believe me today. You don't have to believe me tomorrow. I'm just saying, if you come at a point later on in life where you start to question certain things, maybe just think back on this and just think about it. That's all. I don't think you got to agree, because you're not at that point yet in your life. You're young man, so I'm not mad at you.
I do agree. That sounds appealing to me too. Going and watching a rom-com, cuddling up and she puts your legs on top and you have a candle lit. That sounds great. But nowadays, the way Western women think, they always are aiming for more. So that does sound ideal, but all of them, because of Instagram and because of the stuff they're looking at, women don't want to settle as much as at the same level that men don't want to settle.
It's it's very interesting that he talks about how that does sound appealing. The idea of being cuddled up with his girl and watching a romantic movie, and he likes the way that sounds. But because of his red pill programming, it's hard for him to really believe that women would just like to be in your presence and enjoy just talking to you and just enjoy the person who you are, because red pill teaches him that, women just want you for your money and your status, and they want you to be a baller and a boss. So it's hard for him, because of that red pill programming, it's hard for him to really appreciate the simple things, and to just sitting in the room, having deep conversations, talking about your life, opening up and expressing your feelings with someone, and just, telling them things about yourself that you've never told anyone before. These are the things that will really impact your life, versus I'm out here, I'm partying, I'm popping bottles, I got girls shaking their butts and that. All that stuff is cool in the moment, but it doesn't really mean shit at the end of the day. And that's why I wanted to highlight this video, because I talk a lot about promiscuity, and I had a whole back and forth with these fresh and fit guys about why you shouldn't just be out here chasing women, and how they just want to have women in and out of their life, versus having a real intimate and emotional connection with someone, something that means something. Because what he's talking about, all this chasing women and I want to wake up and be pushing women out the way. You pushing them out the way because they don't matter, right? They don't matter. When you have someone in your bed that you care about, you don't wake up and push women out the way. No, you wake up, you kiss them on the cheek, you say good morning, you bring them some coffee. You know what I mean? It's way more intimate. But that is the thing about red pill, is that, they don't really preach this type of stuff. And I would consider myself rather red pill. If I'm being honest, I really agree with a lot of what, the red pill talks about. And it's only because I believe that, the world is pretty shallow, right? Let's be real. A lot of people are shallow, but ultimately there's levels to the shallowness. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like for me, like, yeah, like I want a girl who looks good. You know what I mean? I don't want to be with an ugly chick. I'll be honest. But you know, there's levels to it, right? Meaning, yeah, like I want a chick who looks good, but more than that, I want a chick who is supportive, who's nurturing. I want a chick who embraces her femininity, someone who's going to be my peace and not my chaos. Like I could give two shits if you're the finest woman in the world, but every time I come home, you're arguing and you don't know how to cook shit, and you just want me to spend a bunch of money on you. Like that's not appealing to me. So anyway, that's all I got on this video. You guys let me know what you thought of the content. What points did you agree with? What points did you disagree with? Leave your comments below and let me know what you thought. And if you got anything out this video, hit that like button. This is Agree to Disagree. I'm out.